it's Wendy from Cohen Tucker Natus. Today I'm going to talk to you about the newest proposal for comprehensive immigration reform. Obviously, comprehensive immigration reform has been a topic that's been around for many, many years, and we still don't have it. The last time there was a major overhaul, the U.S. immigration system was 2005, and even that didn't really impact much. So, what's going on? On May 23rd, the Dignity Act of 2023 was introduced in the House of Representatives. It was introduced by Veronica Escobar, who is a Democrat from Texas, as well as Maria Elvira Salazar, a Republican from Florida. So this, from the get-go, is a bipartisan bill. There are others signed on, but these are the sponsors. Apparently, they've been working on this plan for about 6 months. The actual proposed legislation is almost 500 pages long. Just to give you some ideas of what's in it, I'm going to go over that today. So, the overall goal of the Dignity Act is to revamp our country's outdated and dysfunctional immigration system. It's going to combine many things like increasing funding for border security, as well as expanding avenues for legal migration and creating a pathway to citizenship for millions of undocumented immigrants already in the U.S. Now, there's a lot in this bill, and I could spend a long time going over it. But for today, I'm just going to hit some of the highlights. So, how is it going to benefit undocumented immigrants currently in the U.S.? There's several provisions that will help people. First and foremost, there's going to be a creation of an immediate legal status and streamlined path for Dreamers to get status in the U.S. Dreamers is typically, it's a group of people. They also sometimes refer to as DACA recipients, but they would finally have a path to legal status in this country. There's going to be the creation of the Dignity Program. This is a 10-year program. It is going to provide undocumented immigrants with employment authorization, protection from removal proceedings, and a path to earning legal status in the country. Undocumented immigrants will be required to comply with all federal and state laws, pass a criminal background check, and work or serve as a family caregiver and pay taxes. Those individuals will also be required to contribute to the American Worker Fund. Over the course of 10 years, they will ultimately pay $10,000 into this fund. They will also have to check in with the Department of Homeland Security every 2 years. For all this, there will be a path to legal status. After you complete the Dignity Program, there is a program called the Redemption Program. Again, you must finish the Dignity Program first, but it's a 5-year program. You're required to learn English and U.S. civics. You'll have an opportunity to contribute to your local community through volunteer work, national community service, or increase in contributions into that American Worker Fund. And you'll have pathways to citizenship opened up. Now, you're not going to get a special pathway, but you're going to get a pathway through the normal procedures. Okay, why I think this may be a comprehensive reform that maybe sees a good chance of passing is because it does seem to be a balance of helping Dreamers as well as other undocumented individuals have a path to legal status, but at the same time balancing it with increased border security and enforcement policies. And this seems to kind of make both sides happy. It's going to give the Democrats and stuff for their constituents, but also Republicans. Again, this was just introduced, so it's got a long way. The fact that it's balancing both does seem to, give me hope that it may pass through. So when it comes to border security and enforcement, it's going to be involved implementing the best border technology available. That's going to be increased use of things like cameras, infrared technology, secure communications, autonomous detection devices, things like that. So we're going to be increasing the use of technology to help detect and apprehend people who are crossing the border without status or without permission. It's going to also resume all currently paused border infrastructure contracts and increase funding for physical border infrastructure. So that means the projects that are currently paused for the wall will resume, as well as there will be increased money for that. It's going to also allow for the hiring of 3,000 additional CBP personnel. Those are the individuals that secure the borders, not just the southern border, but the northern border, as well as ports of entry. So that will increase hiring and staffing there. It will also create a task force that is designed to detect and destroy cartel smuggling tunnels along the southern border. Those tunnels are used to not only smuggle drugs, but also individuals. So they want to crack down on that. It's going to mandate the use of e-verify system nationwide. E-verify is a system that employers can check the eligibility of their new hires as well as current employees to work in the United States. This is something that Republicans really have focused on in previous discussions on immigration. So it is something that may, again, help with passage. It's going to increase the criminal penalties for illegal border crossing, also streamline the deportation process for individuals who are undocumented and who have committed crimes. It's going to establish regional processing centers to house asylum applicants who enter at the border. Essentially, this is a concept to end the catch and release policies. They're also going to codify last in, first out judicial policy. What that means is if you are in court, just put in court today, your case is going to move along faster than someone who maybe has been here for put in court like a few years ago. The whole point of this is to help reduce the backlog in the immigration court system. It may seem counterproductive that if you were put in court sooner, you're going to have your case processed faster. But the ultimate, I think, policy or ideas behind that are these individuals have already been here. We're going to crack down on newer arrivals and hopefully use that as a deterrent moving forward. The bill is also going to provide for the hiring of 1,700 new immigration court personnel. This will allow the court to process asylum claims faster, again, streamlining the process and kind of ending the years-long wait. Work with the Department of State on curbing irregular migration from Central America. What does that mean? They're going to look into the root causes of such migration and try to resolve them or help make it so that people don't need to. That's going to be things like increased our development and investment in countries like Guatemala, El Salvador, and Honduras. Now, some people out there may be wondering, well, this is great for people who are undocumented, but how does it benefit the American workforce and economy? There are provisions that will do that as well. So, as I said before, there's going to be that American Worker Fund. Undocumented people participating in the Dignity program will have to contribute over a course of 10 years, $10,000 to this fund each. That fund is going to be used for giving grants to American citizens for workforce education initiatives, apprenticeship programs, and career and technical education. So that money essentially that is paid for by undocumented immigrants will be used to help Americans with career development. It's also going to expand and modernize the H-2A and H-2B programs. These are the agricultural guest worker and the seasonal programs that allow employers to bring in workers seasonally to help with farming and as well as other seasonal workforces such as hotels in high tourist areas. It's also used for one-time occurrence such as an employer got a very big contract and they need more employees. The whole goal is to, by allowing more individuals in, especially with the agricultural programs, it will help provide wage stability in the agricultural sector, as well as make agricultural commodities, your meat, your dairy, your produce, more reliable. As we all noticed during COVID and after, there have been some supply chain issues, and this is the goal of this is to help with that. As to the H-2B program, they're going to be expanding the returning worker exception. This will allow small and seasonal businesses to fulfill their labor needs. These are things like your beach communities where they just need extra staff in the summer and there's not enough staff there or not enough American workers who want the job because it's not a permanent job. So this will help them bring in those workers that they need. There's going to be a lot to come. Again, this was just introduced. It's currently in the Judicial Committee. It's got a long road ahead of it. It is a positive in the sense that it does, in my opinion, balance the needs of undocumented individuals in this country against the needs that we need for enforcement security, as well as proposes benefits to the American workforce and economy. We will keep you up to date as legislation progresses. If you have any questions about this proposed legislation or about your immigration status in general, please contact our office. Our phone number is 212-840-0050, or you can also reach us through our website, www.cohentuckerlaw.com. I hope everyone has a great day, and we'll keep you posted about this reform.